Okay, back on this American Bosch. I don't have anything right now at the moment to deal with this. I don't know, somebody has suggested that that is the innards of something. Now, it didn't come from the transformer. Yeah, it did not come from the transformer. There was something else up in here, and judging by the schematic, I don't know what the heck it could have been. Now, it resembles the same stuff as this canister. It's like tar. Now, there was a block up here that had, I think it was a 4 microfarad. The 4 microfarad or the 8 microfarad. I'm thinking that the oval canister right down there, which you can see it right there. Now it's got 3 leads coming out of it. Well, used to have 3 leads coming out of it. Now that is indicating to me that there are 2 caps in this thing. I've yet to look at the label on that thing if I could find one, and see if it is in fact a single or a 2-section cap. I'm suspecting a 2-section, but looking on the Antique Radio Forum, I found something that has indications by someone working on one of these that the 4 microfarad E-cap was in a block that was about 3 inches, 4 inches long, and wrapped in paper and wax. Now, that stuff back there looks like this stuff right here, but I do not see how in the heck that stuff could have got there if it was from this. Now, this was not a problem. Well, the caps in it were a problem because I think I counted 11 wires coming out of this block here, and they're all these ones with the tape on them. That's kind of what I figured in the beginning. There's a few more caps here than there are leads out of the old block. This one here I'm counting as 1. So there is a mica, I think that's a mica right down there, and I do not see any other caps than these yellow axials. Oh, there is one there. It looks like a mylar. So yeah, there's a few more than there was here. So there might have been 1 or 2 that are external to the block here. So I'm figuring that, okay, regressing a little bit here. I took this loose to investigate to see how many wires there was and if they were all these taped off wires, and they are. So in the meantime, I am going to correct this audio transformer secondary leads. I think they're secondary leads. They go to the speaker. I believe they're going to the speaker. I'll have to investigate that further. Right now I just made a preliminary investigation on this thing, in the words of the Department of Justice, we're still investigating. So so we're going to see about that. And then once I'm satisfied that everything is on the up and up, I'm going to snip all these doggone wires off flush. Now, I am contemplating getting rid of this entire block because there's no use for it in here, because this block has not been gutted and restuffed with all these caps in it. So plus I'm not really sure how in the hell they figured what values of all these different caps were. I could see it if everything in this block was 05s, and consequently you just did all 05s. It does not indicate on here what is in that block. So what I'm thinking about doing, I'm going to go ahead and clip all these wires off and get rid of them, and that's going to give me a lot more reaching room in here. Then I am going to, I've ordered me a 2500 watt yay mini sun heat gun that I'm going to take and use on this spot right in here, and melt all of that so I could get it scraped out. I'm not going to completely melt it, but I'm going to melt it enough to soften it, so that, because it is some gnarly stuff. And I'm going to get that socket freed from all of that. There is, I noticed last night when I powered this thing up again to check it out and see if there was any oddities from the video that I did yesterday or the day before yesterday. I forget when it was I did it, and see if there was anything different about it. And there was. It seems to be that there is a slight short coming from something in here. Now I don't know if it's one of these caps or it's a resistor or whatever, but I'm gonna dive into it a little bit further. Once I get these things cut, I'm gonna desolder all of these ground points on this can and pull it back and get me some room, and then I'm gonna go in there and remove those screws. Got a screw there and a screw down in there, and take this block out so I can get back in here to this stuff, so I can check these resistors. Because there is something, now it's not there all the time. I noticed that the bulbs came on bright, and I shut her down and I jiggled a few things in here and turned it back on, and it seemed to operate all right. So there's an issue somewhere down in here. Now I got to get those things protected. I don't know if they were touching in here or what. There doesn't seem to be any arcing or anything else like that, so it's hard to say. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to start process of elimination. I'm going to make sure that some of these solder points are good and solid, making contact. And then I noticed some of the tubes, well, all the tubes were a bit sloppy in their sockets. So that could be another issue. Not making very good full contact on the pin and arcing, causing it to draw more current. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to tighten up all of these sockets and get them snuggled. And then that heat thingy might not be in until Wednesday, Thursday. I noticed they shipped it out. They notified me of shipment today. So that means either they got it bagged for shipment to be picked up this morning by the Postal Service, or it'll go out Monday. And be picked up at Monday's service. But I'm thinking it's in the mail, so it's on its way, and we'll get this thing all separated out so I can look at this wiring, because some of that wiring is coming over here and going to that switch. And the owner had contacted me via email stating that he would like to see an auxiliary input on this thing for Bluetooth or phono or whatever, an auxiliary input. So I'm going to investigate that, but I need to track that wire that comes out of this volume switch. It's actually not a volume switch. Where is it here? Where are you, little life forms? I think this is it. One of these wires goes back to the audio amp, and the other one goes through the to one of the other pre-stage tubes, and they go right through that mess right there. So I need to get that thing opened up. So that's the battle plan right now. I know I put in the description for the last video that this was going to be a repair only, and we found out what the problem was. Now, on top of that, I found a second problem, and it's going to involve a lot more to-do stuff, which is I don't know. I was kind of hoping that it was going to be something a little bit simple, so that I didn't have to devote too much time, because I know what's going to happen. Opat's stuff is going to show up on my doorstep. The cloth is going to show up on the doorstep pretty soon for the export unit, and the 529 is going to be ready for stuff. I got the cabinet pretty much ready. Plus I got to get the cloth for it. And everything's going to hit me all at once, and I've been kind of feeling a little inundated, and that's on me. Besides missing doggy, and not feeling like doing too much, it's just been it's just been a load. So now that I see what this one here kind of intimidated me a little bit. I hope you don't mind my gabbing, but we're gonna get into this, and we're gonna snip, and we're gonna get this thing back into controllable condition, and give it another shot. We'll get this all cleaned up. I'm thinking about snipping up some of these existing caps and getting some sleeving on some of these. I'm not sure when this stuff was done. It doesn't look like it could have been too far back. whoever did this work might have had a problem with it, and like I say, the owner sent it to me and says it don't work, it's not doing anything. Well, the previous laborer might have had an issue with this thing and gave up on it and just boxed it and shipped it out, dumped it. I can see pretty much why. If that wasn't enough, maybe this was enough. But always use sleeving. If you're going to do any work on any of these radios, consider using sleeving. You don't have to use it everywhere. I don't usually do either. If it goes to a ground point and it's a chassis ground and not a B minus, so be it. Bear it. But please put it on the other side, you know, because you never know. Folding this stuff back up and putting it back in the box could cause something to touch, like this here. When it goes down on there, it could cause these things to ground, and those kind of things are really difficult to find. So I've gabbed enough. I told you my plan. Let me get started. So we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.